Hello.
What's the most a guy should spend on a wedding ring?
I definitely want a huge rock, so I'm gonna guess that it probably costs about at least like $500,000.
I think definitely in a 10,000 range, like 10, 30, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, something and above, like for sure. But not 10. I'd say like 30.
I have only one ring I want. It's Tiffany ring. It's a lot of money. I saw these days like 54,000.
Mine is 17K.
$17,000.
Mine wasn't that much, but I don't know how much it was.
5K, it's right here. I picked it, it was really cute.
I mean, how much was it, 35K? 35K, yeah.
35,000 bucks.
Yeah.
First one was like $60 for mine and hers together for the wedding set, but the second set was like $1,500. And then the next one I want to get her gonna be the one of her dreams. Yes.
How much is that one gonna cost?
$13,000.
$13,000.
I don't want him to spend too much. I think he should spend like less than 2K.
Taking the money and running.
I, Danielle, take you, Zeus, to be my lawfully wedded financial supporter. I vow to stress you the f*** out and eat off your plate for the rest of our lives. I will go through your phone in sickness and in health and accuse you of cheating whether I have found proof or not. I promise to gain weight and let myself go until you no longer want to stick your inside of me. When times get rough between us, I will complain more and listen less, never pray about it, and make us both look stupid by airing all of our business on Facebook. And even though I got pregnant on purpose to trap you into marrying me, I still won't tell you about all the guys I let slut me out. I vow to love you for the rest of my life and never, ever leave you. As long as you don't lose your good-paying job with benefits, or I'll leave you for someone with good money. I love you.
A beautiful ceremony. If only the vows were this accurate, we could have gotten to all the pre-internet dudes in time. Guys, the modern marriage is about as dumb as walking into a butcher shop for a clean shave. It's more time-consuming than a broken wrist, and as tiring as running for charity after a 48-hour Super Smash session. Don't ask me how I know that last one. But when you ask many of the women heading for the wall, or government institutions in the West, they ignore these facts and tell us to hop on in because the water's just fine. Now, for the simps out there, they hop into the water head first and never look back. For those that woke up, the sirens can keep singing because there ain't no way we're giving up our bag for a journey doomed for disaster. And we have many reasons for that, and here are a handful of them. Before we go further with the video, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to Spock Talk, who shared, "She submits to her boss. She obeys him and never backtalks or demeans him. She respects him and is authority over her. I'd rather be her boss than her husband." And that's the main problem with these career women, guys. So thank you for sharing that comment. That was a good one. So please don't forget to reach out to my email to claim your $5. As always, guys, I'll be picking one comment from each video. Could be the funniest one, the most liked, or just one that stuck out to me. So don't forget to leave a comment and you could be our very next winner tomorrow. So be sure to hit that like and sub button too, as that helps out the channel a ton, guys. And also, we got a backup channel now linked in the description. I'll be posting similar stuff there too, so subscribe to that just in case. Link is right below. Now back to the video.
Embrace your masculinity.
See, what saddens me is I think that a lot of women, you think males and females are the same, and you've been dealing with so many weak males. Weak males. Weak males. If a male is letting a woman limit him and dictate to him the program, that's the little homie. The big homie eat what he wants. He has a king's appetite. The little homie, he takes what he can get. The big homie take what he wants. And I tell you what, you ain't never met a man on earth who said, if I have two beautiful women who are competent and can make me beautiful kids and serve me, I wouldn't want to double that up. That doesn't make any sense. You know why? Would you, if you got a Rolls Royce, would you say, no, I don't want a Maybach also? Anything that's good is better when you have more of it.
But less is more.
Oh, shit.
Brain damage.
I'm gonna be honest. And the type of person I am, I have big mama energy, and I'm a big dominant. And yeah. Let's see.
I wish I understood what that meant. So
Basically, it's like I'm a person that like power, and I carry along like alpha men energy. I'm an alpha female that's also in tune with my divine feminine and masculine energy. So
I'm somehow more confused, but I like
divine energy. I'm just gonna move on here. Reason number 1: Western marriage does not encourage masculinity or femininity. Guys, when it comes to the old institution of marriage, the motive was power over self, finances, and the family, all in the name of trying to achieve something greater than yourself. And this had a lot to do with the way it was structured. Essentially, it was a property agreement, and men felt incentivized to marry another person, or in some cases, more than one, because it meant that their dynasty or land holdings would be secure, and their legacy could live on. Contrary to popular belief, this encouraged the positive traits women carried because it set a precedent for loyalty and subservience. But now, many live in a completely different environment where the structure of marriage has been fixed in the opposite direction. Now, to marry a woman in the West, and some Eastern countries now, is to give women undeserved leverage and power. It's a participation trophy that really doesn't do anything but remove the necessary control men require to make a stable environment for their families. Going down this path just means that you've accepted living life with an anvil over your head, with a progressively unhinged woman glaring at you with a big shiny pair of scissors. Will she cut the rope? When will she cut the rope? These are the questions a guy will have to ask if he decides to play along. It's why we're now sitting and watching women talking like they're the last airbender, talking about divine energies like they just got off the phone with God. It's why we have to have conversations like this for the first time in modern history.
If your woman is going through like emotional stuff, it's probably because of you.
Emotions is a you problem. There's nobody else. Only you feel your emotions. Other human beings don't feel your emotions. You can't blame someone else for making you feel a certain type of way. Furthermore, if someone has the ability to manipulate your emotions, they are your master. So that means that you need to have the ability to regulate your own emotions so someone can control your emotions.
I want to say, what % of women are virgins on their wedding day? Can we answer the question?
Probably about 25%.
25%? Okay, it's 5%. What % of women have been on birth control at some point in their life? 90%.
But what are the reasons why women are not on birth control? I've been on birth control before, but it wasn't because of sex.
Okay, fine. Which is all good and well until we start looking at the body count statistics, where after a woman has had 5 partners, her chance of a happy marriage drops to 20%. Okay, so and the average woman has slept with more than 5 men. Okay, which remember historically 100 years ago, 85% of women were virgins on their wedding nights. Now, what else does men get out of marriage? They get loyalty, but not today because half of women leave. Then we start to go into weight, where women are overweight. The average woman is 5'3", 170 pounds. These are just numbers, and yet we scream misogyny at me, but these are just numbers.
Reason number 2, marriage today is a celebration of feelings, not facts. For a lot of people who haven't done the research, the general assumption is that marriage is an institution that has always been based on love. When someone grows up watching Disney movies, it's clear where this all started. But the fact is that love was merely a byproduct of marriage, something that would come up later in the union as time went on. The starting point was a masculine-based transaction, which almost always led to favorable results. And this really comes down to the nature of women in general. A man can find interest at the start, but will almost never build on the absence of feelings, while women gain feelings progressively through rolling in the hay over time. Back in the day, there was no real scientific definition for these things. It's just that masculine society understood that virginity was favorable because it meant that bonding would usually take place over the course of the marriage, meaning that men had to take the lead. Go figure. In the modern landscape, the whole process has been reversed. Women metabolically render themselves incapable of bonding, and what's left is a bunch of confused chicks unable to make promises because their brains are already blended into total TikTok mush. By the time they get to the altar, they have 3 men on their minds and the kind of baggage that would snap a 747 in 2 pieces. So, what's left? Materialism.
5,000? That's a good ring. That's not just like no mediocre. You just sound like 5,000. Like, that's a good ring.
That is definitely mediocre.
5,000 is mediocre?
I know people who get 27,000 spent on their.
So if it's so mediocre, how many of you motherfuckers got $5,000 rings on your finger right now? Put them up there. Man, if it's so mediocre, then every one of y'all should have a $5,000 ring on your finger.
I can go buy a ring for myself.
But you ain't bought that motherfucker. Women always want to talk hypothetical about the money that they could have, the shit that they could have bought, the nigga that they should have had. No, nigga, we talking reality. You gonna tell me that goddamn this I spent my last $5,000 on this goddamn ring for your ass to prove my love to you, and you gonna say this shit mediocre? We gonna have a mediocre annulment. We gonna have a mediocre divorce, and you gonna have a mediocre trip back to the mediocre pot mix. Because I'm not marrying your ass if you are so goddamn concerned with how much a nigga spent on the ring. You gonna have mediocre government cheese at that point.
Half of that shit you see with the big ass diamond on it looked like it was 20,000. That shit was really $1,500.
I'm gonna tell you what, Miss Angel.
Shit fool you.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna spend 20,000 on your ring. You know what? Because I'm cheating. I'm cheating like a motherfucker. Now that nigga that had that $2,500 ring was gonna be faithful. He was gonna treat you like a queen. He was gonna love, protect, and provide all that shit. I'm cheating. You got a ring though. Congratulations, your marriage is ruined.
Now for the next trick.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Okay.
I don't know what he thought this was, y'all, but I'm dipping the fuck out, cause y'all, I'm not paying for no fucking meal.
Jesus, which bridge did they walk under to find this one? Let me get my head straight. Reason number 3. Marriage is a cost for men, not a reward. With the last 2 reasons, I mentioned how originally there were profitable reasons for why a man would make a covenant with women. But the thing is, in modern marriage, the only covenant you make is to lose as much money as you possibly can. Seriously, if you want to simp out and pay for the hundreds of meals and eventually sign a contract that sets you up to pay even more when the journey ends, you might as well walk over to the nearest casino, cash out the paycheck, and start cranking that handle until you grind your joint into a fine powder. At least then, you might have a chance of getting some money back. Growing up in a densely populated area, I would sit my blue-collar ass down at dinner with some pretty wealthy families. Almost all of the relationships started and ended the exact same way. The dinners of my youth would be full of conversations where the women would brag about their husband's generosity, claiming that they didn't want anything but the clothes on their backs. And then when the divorce rolled around, the dam broke and the truth came roaring out like they had been harboring this secret for decades. All of these chicks, now looking like balloon animals rather than actual human beings, would spend hours defaming the man they once claimed to be the universe's gift to Earth, laughing about how they got 50 to 70% of the man's money like it was a blood sport. The sad part is that if these men knew what we know now, they'd be free, because they'd see the outcome before the worst decision in their lives had been made.
Making a man wait while her 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 previous partners she slept with on the first or second date is like me going to McDonald's. Everyone in the restaurant paid $1 for a cheeseburger. There's 3 people in line ahead of me. They all pay $1 for a cheeseburger. Then I get to the front of the line, ask for a cheeseburger, and the clerk looks at me and says, it's $1,000 for you, sir.
Then don't pay.
Exactly. Let's see, I got more. Or it's more like, wait, yes. But you have 3 kids from the same man. You did girl on girl.
Hold on a second.
What?
But can we just be conscientious of like wording right here for certain reason?
Are you concerned that your kids are going to hear this?
Like my son likes this podcast because he's very into tradition.
But you have some viewpoints still. What are those?
I think it's like, for instance, I think that those are acceptable and really dependent on the discussion that you have with your partner. Okay. I would, in a relationship with a man, which is the only kind of relationship I'm in, I'm open to a girl guy.
Okay.
Gary, you don't want the boy to know that you're okay with him knowing that you would be willing to engage. I just want to make sure I got that correct.
Okay.
Is that
thanks for putting the
off base
words
here?
out there like that.
Looks like she has her priorities straight, right, guys? Reason number 4, endorsing the lie is propagating the lie. Guys, I'm sure you've seen this happen, but in places like the US and UK, there are a lot of people that get married, have kids, and then try and walk them through the mental gymnastics in order to keep their hopes up regarding the Western marriage. It's the whole, well, it didn't work for us, but our situation is special. That doesn't mean that it can't work for you. The kid believes it, looks for the quote, right girl in an environment that doesn't produce such a thing, and lo and behold, the cycle continues. Luckily, there's so much information out there that the situation is healing a bit, like how this so-called mom explained her sons watched the show, but for a long time, this was a serious concern that, without the proper information, would happen over and over again, producing generational denial on a mass scale. What I'm saying here is, to marry a woman like this is to tell your future children that this is okay. It's to become the kind of parent with a LonelyFans daughter that hops on a podcast and says something like, "Don't worry, my parents know about my services. It's all good. In fact, mommy does it too." When talking about marriage, the financial issues are obviously going to take center stage. But it's also a sinister institution at this point that preys on ignorance, creating leagues of people that think history doesn't make a difference.
No, yes, I'm going to dress up as a freaking angel for Halloween. I don't care what you say. I'm wearing the freaking lingerie. I'm putting on a freaking tutu. I'm putting on freaking white Vans. I don't care. I don't actually care because you know what? That's what I am inside me, and that's who you freaking married. That's who you freaking said that you would freaking help when they're sick. And so what? Maybe I'm sick in the head by freaking wearing an angel costume, but whatever. This is what I'm being for Halloween.
In sickness and in health.
Are you guys in a relationship?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Let me get my popcorn.
You say yeah, you say no.
We are not in a relationship. No.
Okay, I guess we're not.
Ouch! This is like watching extreme poverty commercials while eating. It's not happening to me, but it hurts my heart, and I feel bad.
Miscommunication here.
No, perfect communication. He's actually just an acquaintance.
Jesus Christ on a motorbike lady, we get it. You don't have to reject him that hard on camera. My lord, my heart.
It was love at first sight, but she's shy. She needs time to build into it. That's what I think.
No, I don't.
Somebody make it stop. Somebody make it stop, please. If these rejections get any more devastating, I will cry and sweat all the expensive vegan water in my body out.
Why does the friend zone exist?
For losers who are meant to be there.
Would you say he's in the friend zone?
Yes.
It keeps getting worse. It keeps getting worse. I am getting dehydrated.
Friend zone?
Yes, I do have a boyfriend.
Oh, you do have a
yes,
boyfriend?
Not him.
Wait, what? She clearly has a boyfriend? So is this man just being delulu? God damn it, making me waste my expensive vegan water tears. Let me wipe my face. My friend, if you don't get out of here and leave this lady alone.
If she's a slore, let her be a slore. That's who she is, man. You can't talk a slore out of being a slore. That's impossible. Sometimes they might seek your counsel, seek your advice, tell them what's real. But when they don't, there doesn't really need to be a lot you gotta say to them. Because at the end of the day, if she's gone 20 years of life or however many years old she is, and she didn't pick that up, you probably won't be the one to change her ways. So stop being foolish and too hopeful, you dig? So you can add a little bit of polish and refinement, but you can't change the core programming. You know, if she's a dirt bag, she's a dirt bag. She gonna die that way, Brody.
I mean, this might be among the most obvious, but it needs to be said regardless. Reason number 5, marriage has never erased the past, and it never will. The thing about this one is that it isn't even a modern problem. If you hitch up to a busted wagon, the wheels might not fall off today, tomorrow, or even a week from now, but they will fall off. And that's why the propaganda in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s were extremely reckless. There was an ongoing belief that the vows two people would take would magically wash away the sins of the past, that a promise made is a promise kept, and that the carousel would fade as soon as you both said the words "I do." It's one of the most dangerous parts of marriage because it promotes the lie that promises aren't directly tied to a person's character. So many societies have been absolutely ruined by politicians and bureaucrats who take to the podium and tell the public anything they want to hear for a vote. And then, as soon as they assume power, that's it. Lights out. Time to rig the game and pretend none of this ever happened. In a big way, that is what all of these modern women do for the price you ring an early divorce. Essentially, dating is like going on the campaign trail for them. Honey, that was a long time ago. I was young then. We all must learn from our mistakes. This time it'll be different. Don't listen to my exes reaching out to you. They're the ones that are crazy. It's not truthful, but it is part of the plan.
There's a vast difference between the way women handle divorce and the way that men handle them. So women are still initiating the vast majority of them. And when they initiate them, they're doing a lot of planning. It's not like a week's planning or a month or two. Sometimes it's months or even years before they actually pull the trigger and be like, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I'm going to take the kids to my mom's house this week and I want a divorce, right? So there's a big setup to it. Like they sit down with their girls, they have some wine. Oh, you know, girl, you can do this, that, and the other thing. They get some advice. Guys don't get that. They're usually blindsided and they're like, the only sign that they usually get is they're not getting any kind of bedroom intimacy. They're getting a lot more disagreements. She's fighting with him a lot more, stuff like that.
Things they think are normal.
Yeah, you know, for a lot of married people, right? And it's like you have to understand you're walking into a slaughterhouse. Like it's a building with a whole bunch of sharp in it, and you're going to get hurt. It's not if you're going to get hurt, it's to what extent or the damage that's going to happen to you. And that's why, you know, for guys, when it goes through divorce, their self-deletion rate's like 8 times higher than women. Because it's that difficult. So what usually ends up happening is women get custody, guys see, you know, their assets and their income flow from him to the mom, and then she uses that money to alienate him from the kids and make up bullshit stories about why he's such an asshole and, you know, she's the best person. And it's an unfortunate sequence of events because, I mean, you know, you hear a lot of women, but I'm not like that. I would never do that. It's like right now. Right now. But when you're looking to untie the knot and women are hypergamous, so they want to get the best they can possibly.
Reason number 6. When a marriage goes against instinct, it's game over. All of the previous reasons can really be summed up with this simple fact. If your gut says no, it's a no. It's always a no. For a long time before the real stats started coming out for everyone to see, the feminized institutions started coming up with terms to make men ignore masculine instinct. The one for marriage, where usually men are the ones questioning their choices on the way to the chopping block, is cold feet. There was a time when I still knew some guys preparing for marriage that got caught up in this web of deception. They knew the risks, and they even understood the first 5 reasons. They felt that it emasculated them. They understood that it was emotionally driven, they wondered if the woman across the church was the right choice, and they recently discovered that the chick's past was different than what they had known at the start. They'd hyped themselves up, the suits on, the families out there, all this money had been spent, they'd listen to the wedding party, and then they'd pull the trigger even though every nerve in their body was on fire. They bought the illusion. They felt like they didn't have options. And guys, they all paid the price.
You telling us that we should settle. You're basically telling us that we can't want what we want. I'm not saying you gotta settle, but I am saying that you are what you are. And regardless to what it is that you think you want or what it is that you think you deserve, men are the ones that get the pick at the end of the day. Y'all are trying to be picked by men. Men is not walking around trying to be picked by women because women is gonna be there, especially if they got the 6 figures that they know all of y'all chasing behind. Well, I got 6 figures too. It doesn't matter. If you're a 6, then you're still a 6 with 6 figures. Men are looking for physical women who are just those beautiful looking women. It doesn't matter if you have 6 figures. You're a 6-figure 6.
Choose wisely.
What would you tell yourself at 21?
Believe your instincts. Instinct over intellect. Always instinct. Just because you can rationalize it doesn't mean it's right. If you feel it, then it's right. That's what I really strongly believe.
And this is a complicated message, so let me clarify. The point is that when a woman has feelings on the matter, the signal is vague and usually unreliable. We see it all the time. However, when a man has feelings on the matter, it's right. In the case of marriage, men need to assess both logic and feeling, because for men, these are reliable. And most of the time, when it comes to modern women, both reliable signs will say no. Keep the bag and go your own way. Listen to your mind and your gut. It's the only reasonable option. If you made it to the end of this video, I want to say I appreciate you, so don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment to have a chance to win, and hit that subscribe button for daily videos. And if you could take a quick sec to subscribe to the second channel, Man Guide Reacts, link is down below in the description, so we can be sure that our message will keep on reaching the new men out there. I appreciate all the support, y'all.